ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ. Today, I want to talk about something that has the power to transform not just your bank account, but your entire life. Mastering the wealth mindset to attract infinite money. As Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded us, wealth is not just a matter of coins and bills, but of consciousness and faith. The mind is like a garden. Plant seeds of lack, and you will harvest scarcity. Plant seeds of abundance, and you will reap prosperity beyond measure. When you align your thoughts, words, and beliefs with God's divine laws of supply, you open the door for blessings to pour in from every direction. This is not about chasing money. It's about magnetizing it, allowing it to flow toward you naturally, as a river flows to the sea. Shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset begins with recognizing the deep patterns of thought that have been shaping your financial reality for years, often without you even realizing it. A scarcity mindset is rooted in fear, in the belief that there is not enough to go around, that resources are limited, and that wealth is for others but not for you. It manifests in constant worry about bills, in hesitating to invest in yourself, and in making decisions based on lack rather than possibility. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that our words and thoughts are like commands sent out into the spiritual ether, and the universe responds to them faithfully. If you constantly affirm lack by saying things like, "I can't afford this," or "money never stays with me," you're planting seeds of scarcity in the soil of your mind, and those seeds inevitably grow into experiences of financial limitation. To shift into an abundance mindset, you must first become conscious of your internal dialogue and the beliefs you've accepted as truth. Many of these beliefs were inherited from family, culture, or past experiences, but they are not unchangeable. The first step is to catch yourself in the act of thinking lack-based thoughts and to replace them instantly with affirmations of abundance. For example, instead of saying, "I don't have enough," say, "God is my unlimited supply, and all my needs are met in divine timing." By doing this repeatedly, you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind, which is the powerhouse behind your habits, decisions, and outcomes. An abundance mindset is not about ignoring reality or pretending your current challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about choosing to see beyond them. It's about holding the faith that there is more than enough wealth, opportunity, and resources available for everyone, including you. In God's kingdom, there is no shortage. The same power that created the oceans, the forests, and the stars is more than capable of supplying all you need and more. When you focus on this truth, your energy changes, and people, ideas, and resources are drawn to you in ways that feel miraculous. Another key aspect of shifting your mindset is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present, and it multiplies blessings. When you give thanks for even the smallest amount of money you have, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Gratitude opens your heart and allows abundance to flow freely, whereas ingratitude closes the channel. Make it a daily practice to thank God for every form of wealth in your life. Not just money, but health, relationships, opportunities, and knowledge. Visualization is also a powerful tool in cultivating an abundance mindset. The mind does not distinguish between a vividly imagined scenario and reality. So when you consistently picture yourself living in financial freedom, your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. Picture the home you want to live in, the experiences you want to enjoy, and the impact you want to make through your wealth. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were already yours, and carry that feeling throughout your day. When you do this, you align your energy with abundance, and like attracts like. Faith plays a central role in this transformation. You cannot claim abundance while secretly doubting it will happen for you. Faith means trusting that what you seek is already making its way to you, even if you can't see it yet. It's choosing to act in confidence rather than fear. Many people sabotage their own blessings because they take actions driven by panic, worry, or mistrust. An abundance mindset requires that you align your thoughts, words, and actions with the belief that God's supply is endless and available to you right now. You must also let go of envy and comparison, which are rooted in scarcity thinking. When you see someone else prospering, the abundance mindset celebrates them because their success is proof that wealth is possible. Scarcity thinks their gain means your loss. Abundance knows that the universe is limitless, and another person's blessing does not take away from yours. In fact, the more wealth that circulates in the world, the more it can reach you. It's important to also consider how you speak about money to others. Complaining about the cost of things, joking about being broke, or constantly discussing financial struggles reinforces scarcity in your life. Your words have creative power, and every time you speak about lack, you are instructing the spiritual law to give you more of it. Choose to speak words of prosperity, not just in private, but in public. Speak life over your finances, and be mindful that every conversation is a seed being sown. Finally, surround yourself with an environment that supports abundance thinking. This includes the people you interact with, the books you read, the content you consume, and the atmosphere you create in your home. If you spend time with those who constantly dwell on problems and lack, it's easy to absorb their energy. Instead, choose to be in spaces where possibility, creativity, and faith are the dominant languages. By intentionally shaping your inner and outer world in alignment with abundance, you invite a flow of prosperity that goes beyond mere financial gain and touches every area of your life. Speaking affirmations that align with God's divine laws of prosperity is a practice that transforms not only the words leaving your mouth, but the very vibration of your life. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that our words are like orders placed with the universal storehouse, and the universe fulfills these orders with precision. Every spoken word carries creative power, either building up your life or tearing it down. When you speak affirmations rooted in truth, faith, and divine law, you are actively participating in shaping your reality according to God's abundance. The key is to understand that affirmations are not mere empty phrases, they are declarations of faith, statements of agreement with the limitless supply that God has already provided. To begin this process, it's essential to choose affirmations that resonate deeply with your spirit. These should be statements that affirm abundance, wealth, and divine provision without hesitation. For example, words like, God is my instant and endless supply, or every need I have is met in perfect timing and in perfect order, carry not only positivity, but also spiritual authority. They declare the truth as it exists in the spiritual realm, even before it manifests in the physical. This is why affirmations must be spoken with conviction. A half-hearted statement will not carry the same creative force as one spoken with certainty and emotional energy. The repetition of these affirmations is a powerful way to reprogram the subconscious mind. The subconscious accepts whatever it hears repeatedly without judgment, and it begins to shape your actions, attitudes, and expectations to match these words. If your subconscious is filled with phrases of lack like, I'm always struggling, or money is hard to come by, it will faithfully create circumstances to reflect that belief. By replacing these with affirmations of divine abundance, you train your inner mind to expect prosperity and to recognize opportunities that align with it. This mental shift begins to open doors that previously seemed invisible. Affirmations also work best when they are paired with a feeling of gratitude and joy, as these emotions amplify the vibration of your words. Simply reciting affirmations without engaging your emotions can make them feel mechanical. The heart must be involved. When you say, I am abundantly blessed, allow yourself to feel the reality of that blessing as if it is already here. The more vividly you can imagine it, the stronger the signal you send into the spiritual law of attraction. You are, in essence, calling forth that which you are affirming, and the universe responds to faith expressed in both word and feeling. It is also important to eliminate contradictory speech from your daily life. Many people sabotage their affirmations by making casual remarks that cancel out what they have declared. You might affirm in the morning, "I am a magnet for money and prosperity." And then later in the day, you tell a friend, "I can't afford anything right now." Such contradictions confuse the subconscious mind and slow the manifestation process. Discipline in your speech is critical. If you find yourself about to speak negatively about your finances, pause and redirect your words toward abundance, even if the outer appearance has not yet changed. Affirmations should also be stated in the present tense, because the subconscious mind responds to no statements, not future possibilities. Saying, "I will be wealthy," places your wealth perpetually in the future, always out of reach. But declaring, "I am wealthy now," communicates to your mind and spirit that abundance is your current reality, and this prompts alignment with that truth. The Bible itself speaks in the language of faith, calling things that are not as though they are. This is the essence of affirmations, declaring the truth of your abundance, even when your physical eyes have yet to see it. Timing can enhance the power of your affirmations. Speaking them early in the morning sets the tone for your day, and repeating them before sleep allows your subconscious to work on them throughout the night. Florence Scovel Shinn often recommended combining affirmations with visualization, so that as you speak, you also see yourself living in the reality you are creating. This combination of spoken word and mental imagery multiplies the creative power of the practice. Another factor to consider is that affirmations should not only focus on receiving wealth, but also on becoming the kind of person who can steward it wisely. Statements such as, "I am a faithful steward of the riches God entrusts to me," or "I use my wealth for good and for blessing others," align you with divine principles that keep prosperity flowing. When your affirmations are rooted in service, gratitude, and faith, they resonate on a higher spiritual frequency, attracting abundance that is not only material but also deeply fulfilling. Finally, persistence is the key. Affirmations are not a one-time event but a lifestyle. The more consistently you speak words of divine abundance, the more your life will begin to reflect them. Even in moments of challenge or delay, maintaining your affirmations keeps your energy aligned with God's laws of prosperity rather than with fear or doubt. Over time, you will find that these affirmations become second nature, effortlessly replacing old patterns of speech and thought, and your outer circumstances will shift to match the wealth conscious mindset you have cultivated through your words. Visualizing wealth as already present in your life is an act of faith that bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen, between spiritual truth and material manifestation. Florence Scovel Shinn often emphasized that the imagination is not a place for idle daydreaming, but a divine workshop where the seeds of reality are planted. What you vividly picture in your mind, coupled with faith, sets into motion the spiritual and mental forces that bring it into form. Visualization works because the subconscious mind does not distinguish between something vividly imagined and something physically experienced. It accepts both as real and adjusts your actions, expectations, and energy accordingly. When you hold an image of abundance with consistency, you align your inner world with the reality you desire, making it easier for it to materialize in the outer world. The process begins with clarity. You cannot visualize abundance effectively if your mental picture is vague or scattered. Decide exactly what wealth looks like for you. Is it a specific income, a dream home, a debt-free life, or the freedom to travel the world? The more specific and detailed your vision, the more real it becomes to your mind. This clarity serves as a blueprint for your subconscious to follow, just as an architect's drawing guides the construction of a building. Without a clear vision, your mind does not have a fixed point to focus on, and your results will be equally uncertain. Once you have clarity, immerse yourself in the visualization as if you are already living in it. Close your eyes and step into the scene. See the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and sense the emotions. If your vision includes a beautiful home, imagine yourself walking through its rooms, running your hands along the walls, smelling the fresh flowers on the table, and hearing the laughter of loved ones inside. The richer the sensory details, the more convincing it is to your subconscious that this is your reality. Engage your emotions deeply because feelings are the magnetic force that pulls your vision toward you. Visualization should also be done regularly, ideally daily, to keep your mind anchored in abundance rather than lack. The best times are in the morning when your mind is fresh and before bed when your subconscious is most receptive. Consistency is vital because the more often you dwell on the image of wealth, the stronger the neural pathways become in your brain, making this state of abundance feel natural to you. Over time, you will begin to think, act, and make decisions as someone who is already wealthy, and these actions will naturally attract the opportunities and resources needed to fulfill your vision. An important aspect of visualization is gratitude in advance. As you see your desired reality, thank God for it as though it is already yours. Gratitude seals the vision in faith and removes the energy of desperation. When you thank God before the blessing appears, you are demonstrating trust in His divine provision and acknowledging that in the spiritual realm, your request is already complete. This aligns perfectly with the principle of calling things that are not as though they are, a truth deeply rooted in Scripture. It is also wise to create physical reminders of your vision to keep it active in your mind throughout the day. Vision boards, written affirmations, or even small objects that symbolize your wealth can serve as anchors to your mental imagery. For example, if your vision includes financial freedom, you might keep a symbolic key on your desk as a reminder of the freedom you are manifesting. Each time you see it, you reconnect with your mental picture, reinforcing it in your subconscious. Another powerful technique is to visualize not only for yourself, but also for the blessings you can extend to others through your wealth. See yourself helping family, supporting causes you care about, and creating opportunities for others. This expands your vision beyond selfish gain and aligns it with God's principle that wealth is a tool for blessing and service. Such an expanded vision resonates at a higher frequency and draws abundance with greater ease because it is rooted in love and generosity. It is natural for doubts or contrary thoughts to arise during visualization, especially if your current reality is very different from your vision. Instead of resisting these doubts, acknowledge them briefly, and then return to your vision with renewed focus. Over time, as you continue the practice, the doubts will lose their power because your subconscious will become more convinced of the truth of your imagined reality than of your present circumstances. Visualization also benefits greatly when paired with inspired action. As you hold the image of abundance, you may receive ideas, nudges, or opportunities that feel aligned with your vision. These are the ways in which God and the universe guide you toward the fulfillment of what you have been visualizing. Acting on these nudges reinforces your faith and moves you closer to your desired outcome. Ultimately, visualizing wealth as already present is about living from the end, inhabiting the mental and emotional state of your fulfilled desire before it manifests physically. This is not pretending or wishing. It is aligning your inner reality with the truth that abundance is already yours in the spiritual realm, and allowing that truth to unfold in divine timing. By practicing this consistently and with faith, you create a powerful mental magnet that draws to you the very experiences, people, and resources needed to make your vision of wealth a tangible reality. Removing fear and doubt that block financial blessings is one of the most vital steps in mastering the wealth mindset, because fear and doubt act as spiritual barriers that choke the flow of abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn often compared fear to a wall you build in your own path, a wall that prevents the blessings already on their way from reaching you. Fear focuses the mind on lack, danger, and loss, which are the exact opposite of faith, confidence, and divine provision. Doubt works hand in hand with fear, planting seeds of hesitation and uncertainty that make you second-guess your ability to receive what God has already provided. The challenge is that fear and doubt can be subtle, often disguised as being realistic or protecting yourself from disappointment. But their effect is always the same. They disconnect you from the flow of divine supply. The first step in removing fear and doubt is recognizing when they appear. Pay attention to your thoughts about money, opportunities, and your financial future. Fear might sound like, "What if I lose everything?" Or, "What if this doesn't work?" Doubt might whisper, "I'm not worthy of that kind of wealth." Or, "People like me don't get those kinds of opportunities." These thoughts might seem harmless or even logical, but spiritually, they are declarations of disbelief. When you dwell on them, you send a signal to the universe that you are not ready to receive abundance. The law of attraction responds by withholding opportunities, or by aligning you with situations that match your fearful expectations. To overcome this, you must consciously replace fear-based thoughts with faith-filled ones. This is where the power of scripture, affirmations, and prayer becomes crucial. When fear says, "I won't have enough," respond with, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." When doubt says, "I can't see how this will happen," respond with God, all things are possible." This is not blind optimism, but spiritual discipline, training your mind to align with truth instead of illusion. Fear and doubt may still try to surface, but the more you replace them with words of faith, the less power they have over you. Another way fear and doubt operate is through focusing too much on current circumstances. If your present reality shows bills, debt, or limited income, fear uses that evidence to convince you that your future will be the same. The truth, however, is that circumstances are temporary and can change in an instant under divine law. Holding on to faith requires looking beyond what you see and trusting in the unseen supply that is always available. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her listeners that the invisible forces are working for you, even when it appears nothing is happening. By anchoring your mind in this truth, you weaken fear's grip and open yourself to unexpected breakthroughs. Fear and doubt are also strengthened by comparison. Looking at someone else's financial success and feeling envy or inadequacy reinforces the belief that you are behind or lacking. Instead, train yourself to see others' success as proof that abundance is possible and available to you as well. Celebrate the blessings of others, and it becomes easier to believe in your own. Comparison fuels fear, gratitude for others' blessings fuels faith. Taking small, consistent steps toward your goals can also help dismantle fear and doubt. When you act in spite of fear, you prove to yourself that you are capable, and each small success builds confidence. This action does not have to be dramatic. It might be setting aside a small amount of money, pursuing a new skill, or saying yes to an opportunity you would normally avoid. Action builds momentum, and momentum reduces fear, because you begin to see evidence of progress. Visualization and meditation are powerful tools here as well. When you regularly picture yourself living free of financial worry and deeply secure in God's provision, you begin to feel that reality in your body and emotions. This feeling directly counters the energy of fear. Meditation helps calm the nervous system, which often reacts automatically to financial stress. By calming the mind and body, you make it easier to choose faith over fear in the moment. One of the most damaging effects of fear and doubt is that they often cause people to make poor decisions with money. Fear can make you hoard resources, refusing to give or invest because you believe you will not get more. Doubt can cause you to pass up opportunities that could change your financial situation because you don't believe they will work. Both of these responses keep you stuck. Abundance flows through circulation, giving, receiving, investing, and creating. When you trust that more will always come, you can make decisions from a place of confidence rather than anxiety, and this keeps the flow of blessings open. Finally, remember that fear and doubt lose their power in the presence of love and faith. Love for God, for life, and for the blessings you already have shifts your focus from what you lack to what is already abundant. Faith is not a vague hope, but a deep knowing that what you need is already provided in the spiritual realm and will manifest in divine timing. By consistently choosing love over fear and faith over doubt, you dismantle the invisible barriers blocking your blessings and align yourself fully with the unlimited supply that is your birthright. Practicing gratitude to multiply your blessings is one of the simplest yet most powerful principles for attracting abundance into your life. Gratitude is more than polite manners or saying, "Thank you." When something good happens, it is a deep, consistent state of appreciation that transforms how you see the world and how the world responds to you. Florence Scovel Shinn often emphasized that what you give your attention to increases, and gratitude focuses your attention on the good already present, causing it to multiply. When you are truly grateful, you are telling God and the universe that you recognize and value the blessings you have. And in doing so, you create an open channel for more blessings to flow into your life. Gratitude shifts your mindset from lack to abundance. A person stuck in a lack mentality looks at what's missing, what hasn't happened yet, or what's gone wrong. This energy not only feels heavy, but also sends a message that you are not ready for more, because you are not appreciating what is already here. By contrast, gratitude focuses on what is working, what is beautiful, and what is available now. This shift in focus changes your emotional state almost instantly, lifting you from worry or frustration to hope and joy. The law of attraction responds to your dominant emotional vibration. So when you dwell in gratitude, you naturally draw in more experiences that make you feel thankful. The practice of gratitude should be intentional and consistent. Many people feel grateful in passing moments, but those who experience its multiplying effect treat it as a daily spiritual discipline. This can be as simple as keeping a gratitude journal where you write down at least 5 things you are thankful for every morning or evening. These can be big or small: a financial windfall, a loving relationship, the beauty of a sunrise, or even the breath in your lungs. What matters is the sincerity behind the words. The more you engage with gratitude, the more your subconscious mind accepts abundance as your natural state. Gratitude is also a powerful antidote to fear and doubt. When you are thankful for what you already have, it is harder for fear to convince you that you are lacking or that blessings will not come. In moments of financial uncertainty, gratitude reminds you that you have been provided for before and will be provided for again. It builds trust in God's faithfulness and in the spiritual law of supply, which operates without limit. Even in challenging seasons, there is always something to be grateful for, and focusing on that opens the door for solutions and opportunities to appear. An important element of practicing gratitude is expressing it, not just feeling it silently. Speak your thanks aloud to God during prayer. Share your appreciation with people who have helped or blessed you, and acknowledge the kindness and generosity you see in others. When you give voice to gratitude, you release its energy into the world, strengthening your own faith while uplifting those around you. Expressed gratitude also strengthens relationships, and healthy, supportive relationships often lead to unexpected opportunities and blessings. Another dimension to gratitude is being thankful for blessings before they arrive. This is a powerful act of faith that aligns perfectly with the principle of visualizing and affirming your desires as already done. Thanking God for the promotion, the financial breakthrough, or the debt freedom before it shows up in your physical reality signals that you trust His provision completely. This, gratitude in advance, positions you as someone who is already living in the reality of abundance, which attracts that reality into your life faster. Gratitude can also be practiced in the midst of giving. When you give to others, whether it's money, time, or resources, do it with a thankful heart for the ability to give. This shifts the focus from fear of loss to joy in sharing, and it reinforces the truth that there is always more to come. Giving from gratitude creates a cycle of circulation, where blessings flow to you and through you without blockage. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her listeners that the act of giving in faith opens the way for receiving in greater measure. One of the most transformative effects of gratitude is how it changes your perception of wealth. Instead of seeing wealth solely as money in the bank, you begin to recognize it in all forms: health, peace of mind, opportunities, supportive friends, loving family, creative ideas, and personal growth. This expanded definition of wealth makes it impossible to feel poor, even if you are still building your financial resources. When you see your life as already rich in many ways, you attract financial abundance more naturally because your energy matches the vibration of prosperity. To deepen your gratitude practice, combine it with mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment and notice the blessings that often go overlooked. The warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the taste of your favorite food, or the security of a safe place to sleep. This kind of present moment gratitude trains your mind to look for abundance everywhere, making it second nature to focus on the good. Over time, you will find yourself naturally thinking and speaking in ways that affirm abundance, and this will draw even greater blessings into your life. Gratitude is not only a spiritual principle but also a practical one. People who feel genuinely appreciated are more likely to help, support, and collaborate with you. Opportunities often come through relationships, and gratitude strengthens those connections. Whether in personal friendships, business partnerships, or community involvement, gratitude makes you magnetic to goodwill and generosity. The blessings you acknowledge and appreciate tend to grow, while the ones you take for granted often fade. This is why cultivating a grateful heart is not just an act of politeness, but a spiritual law in motion that ensures continued and multiplied blessings. Taking inspired action in harmony with your faith is the bridge between believing for abundance and actually experiencing it. While thoughts, affirmations, and visualizations are powerful tools for aligning your mind and spirit with wealth, they must be coupled with action for manifestation to take place. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her listeners that faith is not passive, it is active, moving in the direction of the desired outcome, even before physical evidence appears. Inspired action is different from frantic effort or chasing results out of fear. It comes from a place of inner guidance, peace, and confidence that God is directing your steps toward the right opportunities, resources, and connections to bring your vision into reality. The first step in taking inspired action is learning to recognize the inner prompts that come from divine guidance. These are often subtle ideas, gut feelings, or persistent thoughts that point you toward a specific step. It might be the urge to call someone, enroll in a course, start a business, apply for a position, or rearrange your finances. While fear-based action comes with anxiety and pressure, inspired action usually feels energizing, exciting, or even slightly challenging in a way that stretches your faith. The difference is that inspired action aligns with your vision and values, while fear-driven action often contradicts them. Taking action in harmony with faith requires that you trust the promptings, even when you cannot see the full path ahead. Often, people wait for every detail to be certain before moving forward, but this hesitation allows doubt to grow. Faith means taking the step you can see, trusting that the next step will appear when it is time. This principle mirrors the biblical truth that, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet," offering just enough light for the step ahead, not the entire journey. By moving forward one faithful action at a time, you build momentum toward your goals. It is also important to release perfectionism when taking inspired action. Many people delay action because they are waiting for the perfect timing, plan, or opportunity. In reality, perfectionism is often fear in disguise, keeping you from making progress. Inspired action embraces progress over perfection, understanding that small, consistent steps compound into significant results. You may not have all the resources, knowledge, or skills right now, but as you move forward in faith, those things will meet you along the way. Another key to aligning action with faith is to keep your motives rooted in service, value, and integrity. When your actions are motivated by greed, desperation, or manipulation, they may produce temporary gains but will not sustain lasting abundance. However, When your actions flow from the intention to create value, help others, and operate in honesty, they align with divine law, which supports and multiplies such efforts. Florence Scovel Shinn often said that what you send out comes back multiplied. So, by putting good into the world through your actions, you ensure that good returns to you. Listening for divine timing is also a vital part of taking inspired action. Not every opportunity is meant to be seized immediately, and not every door that opens is meant for you to walk through. This is why prayer, meditation, and stillness are important. They create space for you to discern whether an action is truly inspired or simply a distraction. An inspired action will feel aligned with your goals, carry a sense of rightness, and often be accompanied by confirmations through circumstances, conversations, or inner peace. Taking inspired action also means being willing to step out of your comfort zone. The path to abundance will often require you to do things you have never done before. Speaking to new people, trying unfamiliar strategies, or investing in yourself in ways that feel risky. Faith does not eliminate the feeling of discomfort, but it gives you the courage to act despite it. Growth always happens outside the comfort zone, and inspired action often stretches you into becoming the kind of person who can handle the abundance you are calling in. Persistence is another essential quality when taking action in harmony with faith. Sometimes, inspired actions do not produce immediate visible results, and this can tempt you to give up too soon. Faith means continuing to take aligned steps even when the harvest is not yet visible. Just as a farmer plants seeds and tends the soil without seeing the crop for months, you must trust that your inspired actions are working beneath the surface, preparing for a harvest in divine timing. An important practice is to celebrate and give thanks for each action you take, no matter how small. Gratitude for the opportunity to move forward, for the courage to follow through, and for the resources you have now strengthens your connection to abundance. This positive reinforcement makes it easier to take the next step and keeps your energy aligned with your vision. Finally, inspired action is not about forcing outcomes, but about cooperating with the flow of divine provision. It is the act of showing up fully, prepared and expectant, while leaving the results in God's hands. This balance between effort and surrender ensures that you are not striving in your own strength, but partnering with the infinite wisdom that knows exactly how to bring your desires to pass in the best way possible. By combining faith-filled belief with decisive, aligned action, you create the conditions for abundance to flow freely into every area of your life.